Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop, boop, 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 shoobity-boop-bop-bop. Okay.
Um, me and Greer can scat now.
Yep. Dude, we're gonna win that Grammy next year. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing when we go to the Grammys and the Brit Awards. And then Madonna's going to fly us away on her big cape.
That was so funny.
Poor Madonna.
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
And the thing is, like, when she was like, this is ageism, it's as bad as homophobia and racism, I was like, you're right, like, you are completely right, but it's I'd laugh if anyone fell down wearing a big cape.
Yeah, like that? Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, I'd laugh if it happened to a baby. I'd laugh if it happened to my own grandmother.
I'd laugh if it happened to, like, someone I respected, like, I respect the President of the United States, but if something like that happened to Obama, I would laugh really hard.
I would laugh super hard. If it happened to Joe Biden, I was thinking as well, that would be really... I would find that incredibly rad. I would find that on the top end of the rad scale.
Oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing at that. That was really good.
It was fucking sweet.
That was like the highlight of my week, not that stupid like dress thing or whatever. The llamas escaping were really close, but Madonna falling like that was so funny.
What I thought was hilarious was I did enjoy the llamas escaping.
Oh yeah, no, like that was going on the same time as the dress thing. I'm like, why are you guys concentrating on this? There's llamas on the loose in Arizona, and it's a fucking police chase to get these llamas back. I was following that story.
I know, it was like Benny Hill, wasn't it?
Yes.
But you were so pissed off about the dress.
Yeah, because I don't get it, because it's dumb.
But do you not think just from a scientific standpoint it's interesting?
No, because I graduated from the 3rd grade and I know about optical illusions.
But it isn't exactly an optical illusion, is it? It's to do with the way, like, two people, if they have slightly different kind of retinal makeup.
Yeah, because that's how humans and eyes work.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it was such a stark difference. It wasn't like a subtle difference between the way people saw it. It was a really stark difference. I think that's sort of interesting.
It was like a huge scale, social experiment that I expected Jimmy Kimmel to come out, like, 2 days later and was like, it was me all along! Like, another fucking Jimmy Kimmel prank. I was totally expecting that.
I saw that you posted that. I mean, I have to say, it was a vile dress.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear it.
I wouldn't wear it.
I don't know anything about fashion, but, you know.
Well, I don't really either, and I wouldn't wear it.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to talk about those llamas and Madonna falling down more, because those are the highlights of my week, honestly.
Well, the llamas were hilarious, and adorable. I have an interesting story about llamas. Do you want to hear?
Yes, I will hear any story about llamas.
When I was at drama school, we did, an assessment called Animal Study, where we had to observe animals in their habitats and do like a showcase of you kind of completely embodying that animal. So not just like a pale imitation, you really had to get inside it. And we all got a free pass to London Zoo for a year. And
holy crap.
It was fucking amazing. I was a llama and I killed it. It was awesome. I think there's a picture of me doing it somewhere on Facebook if you want to try and find it.
Oh my god, I will definitely try to find it.
Best year of my life.
Is the London Zoo, like, is that like a good zoo? Like, is it an enjoyable zoo to go to?
Yeah, it's a fun zoo, and it's right by Regent's Park, which is gorgeous. So, like, I used to go there some days and, like, wander around, look at the llamas, and then I'd, like, go and lie in Regent's Park in the sun.
Oh, how lovely. It's not a free zoo or anything? Like, you actually have to pay to get in there?
Yeah, you do, but it's not super expensive. What you don't have to pay for in London, which I think is fucking rad, this is also at the top end of the rad scale, is all the museums in London practically.
Yeah, no, that's how it is in Washington, D.C. You don't have to pay to get into anything with the word Smithsonian in it in Washington, D.C. You don't have to pay a cent to get in there. And that's why the zoo there was free, because it's a Smithsonian zoo, and I just walked in the zoo, and I'm like, I don't have to pay anyone money. I was blown away.
That's fucking amazing. But in some cities, you've got to pay a fortune to get into these places, haven't you? I mean, it's like London and Washington, you don't have to pay, but I'm pretty sure in New York you have to pay for the museums. I know in some cities in England you do.
Yeah, the bigger cities where they have zoos and like even aquariums are really expensive to get into. Like the Georgia Aquarium, which I love. It's a great aquarium and everyone should fucking go because it's awesome. Yes, fun fact, biggest tank, like aquarium tank in the entire world is there. The biggest one in the fucking on the planet. And it's pretty fucking big. And you have to pay like money to get in there and it's like not cheap.
It sounds amazing though. It sounds worth the money. I mean,
no, you have this huge tank where like whale sharks and beluga whales and sea turtles are like coexisting.
Badass. Super cool. Badass. I love aquariums, and I remember in Tiverton, where I'm from, my little hometown in rural England, there was a pet store that had like in one room it had all the fish tanks, but it was like they really went to town. Like they were massive and they had like really super exotic fish, and like it was the most fun place to go and look around as a little kid in Tiverton. And that pet shop got turned into a pub, and I remember thinking, well, I'm never going back there again. Like I go there drinking all the time now. It's become like it served its purpose for me as a kid, and now that same building is serving its purpose for me as an adult. Mm-hmm. I just think that's beautiful.
There are like videos of me on the internet like, at the Georgia Aquarium being like, look at these beluga whales! Like, look at how awesome these beluga whales are! Because beluga whales are so cool. Like, they're one of my favorite sea creatures, and I was seeing beluga whales and it was great. No, you know what? They were in a separate tank. They were in like a beluga whale tank, but I mean everything else in the aquarium, pretty much like half of their fish and animals are in this one humongous tank and they just coexist.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Like the little, like the non-dangerous, well, I don't know how dangerous they are, but they have the sharks in there and they don't eat the fish, and well, they've probably eaten a couple of them, but they have the sharks in there, and they have like the sea turtles in the same tank.
How do the sharks not eat them all? I don't understand.
Well, because the divers come in and feed them. I guess that's why they don't eat them. Or they were like raised that way, like they were born in captivity or something. I don't know.
I'm kind of amazed that they don't eat the divers.
Yeah, well, sharks will mainly, like, they'll leave you alone unless you, like, poke them with a stick or something, or you're in their territory, or you're, like, just disturbing them, but they don't, like, there have been shark attacks, but they normally don't come after people. Like, they aren't murderers. They're not, they don't, like, see a pair of legs 100 miles away and they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna go get that human. You know, they'd much rather swim around and try to find, like, a fish that's twice as big, you know, whatever.
You know, in South Park, someone got raped by a shark.
Oh yeah, that one.
That was in the episode Crippled Summer, probably one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, I do remember that one, yeah.
Tiny, like, well, it was, oh god, I'm not sure I should talk about, well, I suppose if it's been on TV, it's their game. All the kids in the camp were based on Looney Tunes characters, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I feel horrible saying that, but...
It's okay.
I want to talk about Community, the Facebook page, has just posted that they're gonna... Well, they haven't said it in so many words. They just said, tomorrow we're going to show you something special, and then they have a screen grab of Community, the Yahoo era, or something like that, and then hashtag Community lives on. Pretty sure tomorrow they're going to show the trailer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really fucking excited. I've been waiting so long for this. I'm too excited about Community. I'm a fully functioning grown-up adult. But it's going to be good. And, like, everyone watched Community online anyway. So it's like,
Mhm.
the idea that now it's coming back to its natural home means that what's going to happen is, like, all those low ratings that they were getting, they're all going to go away. People are going to
Yeah.
be watching it online, which is where they watch it anyway. Their ratings are going to be through the roof. Fucking sweet.
Well, does Yahoo is it gonna be like on their strictly American website, or is it like a worldwide player?
It's gonna be on Yahoo UK too.
Oh, okay. So it's just gonna be on all iterations of Yahoo.
I assume so, but I know it's on the UK Yahoo.
Oh,
I
okay.
Yeah, I can't wait, and I'm so interested to see how they exploit it being online. Like, I don't want it to be a completely different show, but the fact that they'll be able to exploit, not having to worry about the FCC and stuff like that,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's exciting. Have you
That's
seen?
like that's how my theory is that that's how the Korra creators kind of sort of got away with making the Korrasami ending at the end of Legend of Korra, because it wasn't on TV anymore at that point. The
Yeah.
last season and the end of the third season aired completely online. Yes, still on Nickelodeon's website, but it wasn't on television. So
Yeah,
that's my theory as to how they got away with that.
I no, I totally agree. I
And
mean,
they were ambiguous enough with it too that they could have aired that on TV, but like parents would have fucking called in and complained.
I was going to say, I didn't know, when you first showed it to me, that Korra had become an online thing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, well, oh, that's really brave, but I didn't think it was so kind of overt that, yeah, they couldn't have shown it on TV. And
Well, the only reason they switched to online was because they were facing cancellation.
well,
Just the ratings weren't. Again, it was the thing of people were watching it online instead, so the ratings weren't as good.
yeah,
So they switched strictly to online, I guess, instead of canceling it completely, because they had the rest of the season. There was only like a few more episodes left in that season, so they just went ahead and showed it online, and then I guess it did really well, so they just went ahead and released the next one too, because I guess they were already into the last season, like animating it and voicing it and stuff, so they just went ahead and put that one up too. Because usually with the Korra seasons, and even with the Avatar seasons, when they aired on TV, they were like a year apart. Like a year to like I think the longest was like a year and a half
it's
that
like
they did
that.
between seasons. But when they put them up online, the time between the first episode or the last episode of season 3 and the first episode of season 4 was like not even 2 months.
But you know what though? Like, the really interesting thing is that it's not a demotion. They're not being demoted to the internet because they're not good enough for TV. Like, it no longer works like that. Some of the best new shows are online, like House of Cards, the third season of Arrested Development, third season. Yeah, like that.
I think a lot of fans did see it like that. They're like, oh, they're being taken off TV. And I'm like, well, that's probably for the better, because Legend of Korra, even when Avatar was airing, it did not fit, like, with the rest of what Nickelodeon was showing. Like, it just kind of seemed like the wild card of, like, Nickelodeon's schedule, like, oh, that's that super serious cartoon, and then they did the same thing with Legend of Korra. It just didn't fit with everything else they were showing.
The network might feel like it's a demotion. The network might feel like they're not good enough for our network. They're not right for our network. We're going to take them off the air. But the fact is that the fans don't see it that way, and people of our generation don't see it that way. Nowadays there is just as much impetus, if not more, to watch things online, because people don't want to wait until 9 o'clock or whatever, and fight over the TV with their parents. They want to watch things. They want to watch what they want when they want.
Yeah.
So it's not a demotion. Like, yeah, the networks might see it that way, but I think increasingly it's becoming more and more apparent that the internet is the future.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, fighting over the TV, especially if you're like someone who's living at home with their parents, like I am, and it's kind of tough to kind of wrestle the TV away from your parents who also like to watch different things, so they're both hogging both TVs at the same time. So I can't freaking watch Toonami on Saturdays, even though I want to give them my ratings and stuff, but sometimes it is hard to do so.
I mean, that is the only frustrating thing. The ratings thing of, you're watching things online just because it is more convenient. Sometimes it's impossible if you live in the UK and something isn't going to come out for months and months and months. Of course you're going to watch it online, and then that thing isn't going to get your ratings. And that is the only downside, which is why I think networks are increasingly going to exploit, or companies are increasingly going to exploit the fact that most people want to watch things online by making it legal and above board. And I mean, yeah, in the meantime, what I do, for instance, with Community is, I watched it online, but I bought the DVDs, and that was my way of supporting the show. Which, I think sometimes that's the best you can do. By the way, we're not admitting to doing anything illegal here. I want to clarify that.
No, not at all.
You kidding? Freaking kidding me? So, yeah, that's... I'm excited about the Community move. They've been very, very hush-hush about any spoilers, but I'm really fucking excited about what will probably be the trailer tomorrow. I've been waiting for this for a long time. That was the big thing I wanted to talk about. Can you think of anything else, Greer? Anything on your gator?
Leonard Nimoy passed away this week. That was kind of sad.
That was very sad. I mean, it's interesting with a lot of these people. You kind of, you learn after they passed away, like, lots of other really interesting, amazing things. Like when Robin Williams died, like, I'd always really loved his work, but then you learn that, like, oh, he's a real philanthropist and, had a really strong moral code and was great with his fans.
Yeah, I found out they did an interview with Zelda, his daughter, very recently, because she's just now, starting to talk about it a little more after, a few months. And she talked about how he would do these triathlon charities for amputees, like amputee athletes, like just people with missing limbs, and they would go and do these triathlons. And he was a really big supporter of this one charity that would do triathlons for amputees.
That's fucking awesome. That's so cool. I mean, learning about Leonard Nimoy, there was, I can't remember what the magazine was called, but it was one of those teen magazines from like the 1950s, 60s. And a girl wrote in saying, basically her mother was, I think, African American and her dad was white, or it might have been the other way around, and that she didn't feel like she fit into either, and felt, very kind of marginalized. And she wrote to this magazine but addressed it to Spock because he was half Vulcan, so she felt like he might understand. And Leonard Nimoy replied, I think, in character, and I just thought that was incredible. The fact that it was even on his radar, particularly pre-internet, I just speak so highly of him.
Yeah. And let me just put this on the record. I'm going to put this on the record. I am, like, not a Star Trek fan. Like, I never got into it. I don't know why. I just have not gotten into Star Trek, and people call me stupid for not being into Star Trek, but...
You can't be a fanboy or a fangirl about every fandom. I mean, I like Star Trek. I wouldn't call myself a Trekkie. But I do. I really like Star Trek, and I think what I like about it is that even, in its sort of earliest incarnation, it was very, very progressive. Like, I mean, it had Uhura, who was a black character, having a romance with Kirk.
And Sulu, who's George Takei, who's Japanese American.
Yeah.
And, and that was during a time where there was still such a stigma about Japanese people.
Yeah, absolutely, because of World War II,
Yeah, read To the Stars, which is George Takei's first autobiography he wrote. He goes really in depth about how hard it was for him. to get a role in Hollywood being a Japanese American during that time. And Star Trek was essentially the first thing to come along where he wasn't being stereotyped or anything like that, because he would mainly take a lot of these roles for early on so he could get paid, and he would be these stereotypical Japanese roles, and sometimes they were offensive, but he would just take them so he could, pay his bills. And then he decided at some point he just wasn't going to do those roles anymore. Fuck the money. He just wasn't going to do them. And then Star Trek came along, and it was kind of the first role where he wasn't being, he wasn't like a token character or anything like that.
He's fully fledged three-dimensional, human being like any of the other characters. I mean, I think you're completely right, and I think it's interesting that still kind of goes on nowadays. Like, you'll get people in auditions saying to a person of color, like, "Oh, can you do that in a bit more like of an ethnic style, or can you be a bit more like hip hop in your attitude?" And yet, here was Gene Roddenberry in, the 1950s or 60s being, just completely courageous and progressive. And yeah, it's like if he was capable of doing that when all these other attitudes around him weren't, then I feel like people should be capable of that now,
Also, can I just say, it's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing, especially in the cases of Star Trek, and specifically like the actors in it that people know, like Shatner and Nimoy and Takei, that being in a nerd community is kind of like living next to like a nuclear plant, where you kind of unwillingly absorb all of this stuff about, like I've been in the nerd community and I've unwillingly absorbed knowledge about Star Trek, even though I've never watched an episode of Star Trek.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it's like, I was a fan of the fandom Super Wholock before I was a fan of Supernatural or Sherlock. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Just that as a fandom, I was a fan of. I liked Doctor Who, but that was it. And I know exactly what you mean. It's like when people talk about like Gravity Falls or Homestuck or Once Upon a Time. I'm just plucking fandoms out of the air. I know what they're talking about, even though I've never seen those shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, like, facts about Star Trek. Like, I know what the ship's called, and I know what they're doing, and I know the races and stuff like that. And I've never seen a single episode, and I think it's so cool that something like that, and especially, my jaw, like, dropped when it said Leonard Nimoy died, and I'm like, what? Even though I've never seen an episode of Star Trek, he kind of, and you can apply this to a lot of actors as well in certain, shows, but, he kind of transcended like the fandom, and just like everyone just knew who he was.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a bit like George Takei or Will Wheaton or someone like that. He was a real figurehead for the nerd.
Yeah, or even Shatner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's really interesting is, you were saying that when you're in the nerd community, you absorb things, about these various fandoms.
Yeah. And you don't even mean to, like, it just kind of happens.
And things about the culture as well, things about fan culture, even if you don't cosplay, you know all about it, people that do, you know the memes, the stereotypes, like, and I feel like not only does that happen with fans, I feel like with the right sort of actor, like, it happened to George Takei, it happened to Will Wheaton, it happened to Leonard Nimoy. I mean, they are all people who are really passionate about their fans, about things like Comic-Con, about the whole culture of fandom. And they...
I love how you named off all the Star Trek actors, but you did not include William Shatner, because he doesn't really care.
No, he's not really... well, he might be. I don't know. I mean,
he doesn't really care. That's all I've heard about him. Like, I'm sure William Shatner is a lovely person, but I've heard so many stories about how much of a dick he is.
Oh, well, I mean, I think, it's not fair.
And he like, doesn't like going to the conventions and shit like that. And I'm like, come on, dude. Look at you.
But
look at what you've done.
I know, like, he's a massive figurehead for nerd culture, Captain Kirk. But I mean, he is also William Shatner, the actor who, you know, at the end of the day, he took
who's in those Priceline commercials, you know.
No, nothing of those. But I mean, I think, you know, it's so great that, like, you know, yeah, these people, they really embrace it and they love their fans and they love the culture. Like, the Community cast are really like that. I don't think any of them came from a particularly geeky background, but they've all really...
Well, I mean, I knew Joel McHale before Community. I knew him because he hosted Talk Soup, and I watched that every week. And so I knew Joel McHale before he was in... I remember watching Soup, and when they were just airing Community, and he was promoting the shit out of Community all the time. Like, he had, like, other Community actors, like, on Talk Soup, and, like, he would promote, like, oh, Community is premiering this day. Like, I remember when that was happening. I remember when Community first premiered, and he was doing that.
It used to be called Talk Soup, did it?
Well, it was Talk Soup, and then it went to The Soup, I think, when Joel McHale started hosting it. Someone else hosted it before him. I don't remember who, but...
Do you know what? I'm going to come out and say I do not care for The Soup.
I like it. I think it's pretty funny.
It's funny. I don't think it's funny. And I know, like, maybe I just don't get it. Maybe it is just very, very American, but, like...
It's pretty... Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of American... if you don't watch a lot of American TV, especially a lot of American reality TV, then it's kind of gonna go a lot over your head.
Yeah,
and I do kind of absorb a lot of American reality television, mainly because my mom watches a lot of it. So
the ones that I watch are I'm trying to think of the ones no, the only one I watch is Say Yes to the Dress. I watch that with my mum.
There's a kind of like a nerdy equivalent of The Soup hosted by Will Wheaton, and it's called the Will Wheaton Project. I think it's only had one season so far, but I really thought it was funny. And I hope they bring it back. It was on Sci-Fi, and I hope they bring it back because I like Will Wheaton. So
that's badass. I really want to see
it. It's kind of like a nerdy version of it. Like, they talk about, like, what happened on X show this week, and it's usually like what happened on Spartacus this week or some shit. I don't know if Spartacus is still airing, but you know, that kind of thing.
With Supernatural, they could have a field day because
they've had Supernatural on Will Wheaton Project and on The Soup.
So much dumb shit happens.
There was this one clip that they kept showing on The Soup, and it was just like a fucking riot where Joel McHale was like, this show Supernatural or whatever, and it was that clip of, and this is, I don't know anything about Supernatural, but it was some clip where some guy was getting chased by something, and then he got stabbed through the back, and it was a unicorn.
Yeah.
And they showed that on The Soup. I'm like, what the fuck are my friends fucking watching?
I mean, Supernatural is badass. It's like one of my favorite shows.
It's like a unicorn that runs off and it's like farting a rainbow, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's fucking dumb as shit sometimes, and it like knows it is. They know the dumb episodes from the serious episodes, and they do the dumb episodes really well, but they also do the serious episodes really well. But sometimes it is fucking dumb Supernatural. I think that's part of why the fans like it so much, because it does have a really irreverent kind of quality. Like, it's a fucking ride, Supernatural. It's such a fun show.
All I hear, though, is people complain about it and ship different things, but that's all I know about it. I know people complain about it, and I know people like the homoerotic subtext.
Yeah, people ship left, right, and center on that show, and it does also get a lot of shit for being, like, quote-unquote problematic, which I think some of the criticisms I think are fair, but I don't want to beat myself up too much for liking it, because it's a pleasure that I have in my life, and you know, sue me.
Okay, so can we do this thing I talked to you about earlier? There is actually two of these have popped up fairly recently, weirdly enough. It's a Hunger Games simulator. I'm using the one on brantsteel.com. There's another one, but I forgot what website it is on. But I told Fran, I said, it lets you edit what cast you want to have. I'm like, and it randomizes it for you. I found this like yesterday or something. So I told her, I said, we can put in whatever names we want. And so we're going to do that. We're going to put in a bunch of names and see what happens in our Hunger Games. Actually, on brantsteel.com, you can have, like, it's not only Hunger Games randomizer stuff, but there's also, like Survivor, like you can do a season of Survivor, or Hell's Kitchen, or MasterChef, or RuPaul, or any of the Big Brothers.
That's so interesting, because it's like they're saying the Hunger Games is the ultimate reality show. Which
Celebrity Apprentice. There's all the Big Brothers. Big Brother US, Canada, Australia, Brazil, and UK.
Yeah, I would do the hell out of Hell's Kitchen. That would be the one I'd want to do.
We might do that next week or something. I don't know.
Chef Ramsay. Love it so hard.
Yeah, there's Celebrity Apprentice, Amazing Race, Top Model.
I'd like to do RuPaul as well. I'd like to do Drag Race. Yeah. How are we going to do this then? So you pick a name, I pick a name, you pick a name, I pick a name?
List off as many names as you can think of. You know what? I'll put us in first. How about that?
Are you going to put my name in properly, or are you going to be a total moron and spell it wrong?
No, I'll put, as much as I love Fran and everything, I'm going to spell it right. I will, I promise.
Thank you.
So once you put in all these names, by the way, it'll give you, like, a rundown of what would happen to these characters, like, Heather hid in the cornucopia and waited for it to clear out. Georgia grabbed these. I'm not reading these. I'm just like, this is what happened, because I did a test run. So
put all of us. Like, if there is enough.
Yeah. No, District 1 female is me. District 2 female is you. District 3 female is Heather. District 4 female is Georgia. So I need, like, male names. Give me just anyone. I don't care. Okay. Character, real person. I don't care.
Oh, flipping hell. Whoa. Okay. Oh, shit, why is this so fucking hard? Okay. Alright, can you make one of your men Dean Pelton?
Yes.
As in Dean Pelton from the community.
I'll put him as a District 4 male.
Badass.
Okay. How about Markiplier? I'll put him in District 3 with Heather. That'll make her happy, right?
That'll make her very... She's not going to want to kill him, though. Come on.
Well, no, they're in the same district, so he's probably going to get killed by something else if he doesn't win it.
Oh, so. Well, yeah, there you go. Actually, I think Heather would be happy to lose to Mark. Can we put, instead of having Carl Pilkington, can we just put Knobhead?
Knobhead? Okay. Yeah. I'll put him in District 2 with you.
Oh, sweet.
Head like a fucking orange? Or just Knobhead? Knobhead.
Yeah, Knobhead. Maybe that's more succinct.
Alright, give me one for me.
Ooh.
Dick butt.
Yeah. Always funny. Always
okay, funny. I need more female names now.
Okay, Oh, okay. In The Simpsons, Moe sometimes calls Marge Madge, or, no, he calls her Blanche, and he calls her Midge. So can you have Blanche and Midge?
Blanche and Midge? Okay.
Yeah. Hey there, Blanche.
Yep, done.
Oh, Moe, when he asks Marge out and he brings up posies. Oh. Makes me so sad. Okay, you need to think of some female names now.
No, when it says Blanche, I'm gonna think of, like, Blanche from, like, the Golden Girls or some shit. Like...
Oh, yeah. Golden Girls, that's a cool show. I like that.
How about, like, Steve Rogers? That's a given.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Awesome. I had a really good one, and it's completely... Oh, yeah. Can we have Birdman?
Like, from what?
From
Define the movie Birdman?
Yeah, Birdman from Birdman. In fact,
okay.
I want to type Birdman from Birdman.
Birdman from Birdman. There we go.
Yes, please, thank you. Please and thank you.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, like, Blanche and Midge will just both be Marge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I need to visualize it in my brain head.
Your brain head. Do you ever call your computer your lappity top? Or is that just...
No, I don't.
I'm glad I shared that with you. I feel good about that.
Need more males and females. We got, like, 5 districts to go.
Okay, what about... Oh, flippin' flip. This is really hard. If I wasn't thinking about it, like, for seriousness, I could come up with...
Give me someone from, I'll just name a show. Give me someone from Supernatural.
Oh, okay, Castiel.
Okay. Now give me a show. Or a movie, or anything.
Okay, One Piece.
I'll put in, a dude, I'll just put in Luffy from One Piece. There we go.
Okay.
Now, we need, like, more female ones, too. Give me someone from, give me a female Marvel character.
Oh, okay. Whoa. What's the name of the character from Thor, his love interest?
Sif? Lady Sif?
No, the, human girl.
Oh, Jane?
Oh, yeah, she's got a really boring name, but I really like her as a character.
Jane Foster?
Yeah, put in Jane Foster, because I like her.
Jane Foster, alright. Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman in that movie is awesome. She's, like, seriously underrated, that character.
Yeah. I like Kat Dennings' character, though. People give Kat Dennings shit, and I'm like, why? Why do you do this?
Who? Captain who?
I just said, why do you do this?
No, why do you give who shit? I didn't hear.
Kat Dennings.
Oh, I thought you said Captain Ink. I was like, who the fuck is Captain Ink?
That's the new anime I'm watching.
No, Kat Dennings, I agree. I think she's fine. Do people give her shit?
Yeah, for her Thor role, yeah.
I didn't know that. What the fuck is that problem?
I don't know.
Oh, well, they suck. Yeah. You give me someone from a female character from Korra.
Asami. Asami, my waifu.
Oh, and now give me a male character from Hatterful Boyfriend.
They're all guys. Which one? I just 100%ed a Hatterful Boyfriend this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I did, actually. I got the epilogue, down, and I got the epilogue to the epilogue.
We need to...
Because I got all the endings.
So, you know how they all end now?
Oh, yeah.
And some of them, as I understand it, are really serious. They deal really deep secrets.
Yeah, if you stick with Hatoful Boyfriend and get all the endings and get to the very end, well, you don't have to get all the endings to get the very end, which is called Hurtful Boyfriend. But, they touch on topics in great detail, such as mass genocide, biological warfare, and family values.
So is biological warfare why this society only has one human and is...
Dude, it would take me an hour to explain the entire dark-ass plotline that happened. Because I sat through an epilogue that was 3 hours long that continued to blow my mind over and over again.
Well, we need to play it then.
I thought it was over, and then it just kept going. And then I thought it was over again, and then it just kept going.
Can I just say, by the way, getting back to Birdman, I saw that for the first time yesterday, and it was fucking amazing.
Really?
It was fucking amazing, and fuck Eddie Redmayne, Michael Keaton should have won the Oscar. There, I said it.
Okay, I'm putting in Oko-san.
Do it. Oh,
you know that one. That's the bird that's actually a bird and not a human at all.
He was my favourite. I loved him so much.
Oko-san.
Heather attempting to do his voice.
Coo!
One of the highlights of my short existence.
Oh my god. What I want to do is, skip all the endings for you guys, all the romance endings, and just play, the ending.
I like that. I mean...
If you were willing to sit through, 3 hours of it, because literally it's, 2 or 3 hours to get through it.
I would be more than willing. I'm fully invested in that universe. I mean, I'm none the wiser as to how a human does it with a pigeon, but nevertheless, I'm in it for the long haul.
Yeah. Okay, give me a female character from something.
From what?
I don't know.
Oh, butt off, butthead. Okay, what about...
I do want to put Robert Downey Jr. in this.
Oh, so fine. Oh, I know. What about one of the Westboro Baptist Church? What about
Oh
Shelley?
God, no!
Oh, please.
I refuse.
Put Shirley Phelps in the Hunger Games, because then she might die.
Oh my God, what if she wins though?
Oh, fucking hell, if she wins.
There's the chance though. There is the chance that she would win.
Okay,
and that would...
No Shirley Phelps. Oh, put in Louis Theroux, because he's adorable.
Who?
Louis Theroux, he's a documentary.
Oh, Thoreau, okay.
Oh yeah, Theroux.
How about I put John Oliver instead, because they kind of look alike.
Oh, John Oliver's fine. Put John Oliver. Put John Oliver in 10 times.
Jolly.
Put him into me
Oliver.
10 times.
You
hear that? I made a joke.
Yep.
That's sex.
The District 12 male. How about, who did I have in my first one? I don't even remember. I know for sure I have Thor. I'll put in Thor. Just Thor. Not Chris Hemsworth Thor. Just Thor in general. It can be Chris Hemsworth Thor, though.
Oh, can you put in Stephen Merchant and The Rock, a la the movie The Tooth Fairy?
How about Wheatley?
Oh yeah, okay. That's awesome.
Wheatley. Alright, now I'm out of males. Now we just need 4 females.
4 females. Okay, right, let's do this. So, Barbara Bush.
Oh my God.
Because I look a bit like her when I wear padded shoulders.
Okay.
And, who's a fucking badass hottie? Oh, Emma Stone. Fit.
Okay.
Okay, do you think of the last one?
Well, there's 2 more. How about, freaking, Sansa Stark?
Do it.
Sansa Stark. And... Oh man, I should have put Cersei. Because Cersei's a badass bitch.
Are we?
I had Arya Stark in my last one, but...
You've got one left, though.
Yeah, I know. I'll put in Cersei instead. Cersei Lannister. Lannister. I can't spell that.
Lannister.
Okay, are we ready?
Okay, read back.
Okay.
What we have.
District 1 is me and Dickbutt.
Hey!
District 2 is you and Knobhead.
Yeah.
District 3 is Markiplier and Heather. District 4 is Dean Pelton and Georgia.
Yeah.
District 5 is Blanche and Steve Rogers. District 6 is Midge and Birdman from Birdman. District 7 is Castiel and Jane Foster. District 8 is Luffy, Ramonvis, and Asami from Korra. District 9 is Oko-san and Barbara Bush. District 10 is the most badass one. It's Robert Downey Jr. and Emma Stone. They should do a movie together.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Now that I think about it. District 11 is John Oliver and Sansa Stark, and then District 12 is Wheatley from Portal and Cersei Lannister.
Hey! I think...
Let's see how this all pans out.
I think what was District 9 again?
District 9?
Yeah.
Oko-san and Barbara Bush.
That's my favourite district. That's the district.
Proceed! Let's do it. Okay, the bloodbath, which is, I guess, when all the shots go off and everyone's like running for the cornucopia. All right, and now it'll tell me what each character is doing now. So, for instance, Birdman from Birdman searches on top of the cornucopia. Cersei Lannister stays at the cornucopia for resources. Greer searches the top of the cornucopia, I guess, with Birdman. Blanche dies of thirst already, I guess.
Oh, Blanche.
Georgia carefully grabs 3 jars of fishing bait while John Oliver gets fishing gear. Sansa Stark cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Luffy stabs Dickbutt while his back is turned. No, Dickbutt!
No!
Oko-san grabs a backpack and retreats, which he should be doing. He can run really fast.
Yeah.
Midge gathers as much food as she can. Castiel takes a handful of throwing knives. Fran clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Steve Rogers grabs a sword. Barbara Bush and Markiplier fight for a bag. Barbara Bush gives up and retreats. Dean Felton dies of dysentery.
No!
Just right away. Heather stays at the cornucopia for resources. Asami, Wheatley, Emma Stone, and Robert Downey Jr. share everything they gathered before running. Jane Foster and Knobhead fight for a bag. Jane Foster gives up and retreats.
I just love the fact that, like, it's so me. Like, I take the first aid kit and run away.
Run away.
Massive wuss.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's the beginning. It's trying to load day one. There we go. Day one.
Are you, me, Georgia, and Heather still alive?
Yes.
Badass.
Okay.
Alive.
Yeah, this is way better, because my first run, I died, like, immediately. Wheatley receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Heather practices her archery. I receive fresh food from a sponsor. Jane Foster practices her archery. Fran scares Asami off. You must have been really scary.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, I don't know what they're envisaging, but I'm not going to live up to it.
Mark receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. John Oliver overhears Georgia and Birdman from Birdman talking in the distance. Emma Stone cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Midge camouflages herself in the bushes, a la PETA, I guess. Luffy discovers a cave. Cersei Lannister beats Castiel to death.
Christ! Well...
Steve Rogers discovers the cave. Robert Downey Jr. begs for Knobhead to kill him. He refuses, keeping Robert Downey Jr. alive.
Can we please call this podcast Robert Downey Jr. begs Knobhead to kill him?
No, it should be just called Keeping Robert Downey Jr. Alive.
Yeah.
Barbara Bush dies of dysentery. Oko-san receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor, so Barbara Bush isn't going to win. 7 shots can be heard in the distance. Everyone that died today: Blanche, Sansa Stark, Dick Butt, Dean Pelton, Emma Stone, Castiel, and Barbara Bush.
Oh, that's the fucking A-team, right?
Night 1! Me and Asami run into each other and decide to choose for the night. I guess we make out after that, which would be lovely. Jane Foster loses sight of where she is. Heather tries to find other tributes and finds Georgia. Cersei Lannister, Wheatley, and Steve Rogers sleep in shifts. Oko-san, Mark, and you discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. I want to see that conversation.
Yeah.
You, a fucking pigeon, and Markiplier.
Well, I mean, apart from Markiplier, that's not a million miles away from my reality.
I love that that's done. Robert Downey Jr. cries himself to sleep. That's going to be the title of the episode. Never mind.
Yeah, do it. You know what?
This is where we are getting all of our titles for our episodes now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Midge falls ill from contaminated water. Birdman from Birdman tends to his wounds. Knobhead looks to the night sky. John Oliver loses sight of where he is. Luffy tries to treat his infection. Day 2!
Can I just say, I'm so genuinely impressed that Heather and Georgia found each other in the game. Don't you think that's bizarre?
Yeah. Jane Foster practices archery. Mark injures himself. Good job.
Good job.
John Oliver makes a wooden spear.
Oh, can that be... I wish that could be the honorary title of this episode.
John Oliver makes a wooden spear.
I think between that and Robert Downey Jr. cries himself to sleep, it's a hard, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, well, you're cool.
Hold on, I'm writing that down for future reference.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr. cries himself to sleep. Heather runs away from Steve Rogers. Wheatley finds a water source. Georgia practices archery. Everyone's practicing archery.
Yeah, God damn it.
Cersei stalks Birdman from Birdman. Robert Downey Jr. constructs a shack. Luffy sets off an explosive, killing Midge, Asami, and you.
Fuck. God damn it.
I daydream of home, and Knobhead attacks Oko-san, but he manages to escape.
Can't believe I'm...
The shots that went off that day, The shots that went off that day were me, Midge, and Asami. Or you, Midge, and Asami, sorry.
Yeah, you're not dead, you lucky bastard.
I love this. Steve Rogers tends to his wounds. Wheatley thinks about winning. Mark fins Oko-san, John Oliver, and Birdman from Birdman away from his fire. Jane Foster destroys Luffy's supplies while he is asleep. I guess in revenge for you destroying his supplies. Cersei climbs a tree to rest. I highly doubt that. She has that big-ass dress. Heather thinks about winning. Knobhead and Robert Downey Jr. tell stories about themselves to each other. Oh my god. Georgia sets me on fire with a Molotov. It literally says, Georgia sets Greer on fire with a Molotov. Well then. Day 3. Heather discovers a cave. Mark and Cersei work together for a day. Oh my god, I'd love to see art of that. Luffy searches for a water source. Don't know why he gets weak around water.
I just feel like when they're saying, like, so-and-so thinks about the game, they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
Knobhead practices archery. John Oliver injures himself. Georgia remains in her hiding spot. Oko-san makes a wooden spear. Somehow. He has wings. I don't know how.
Well, I don't think he does half the stuff he does.
Jane Foster receives a hatchet from a sponsor. Birdman scares Robert Downey Jr. off. Wheatley begs for Steve Rogers to kill him. He refuses, keeping Wheatley alive.
Oh, that's so like...
I am the only person who died that day.
You know what, though? You know what's funny? That's kind of like if Steve Rogers really met Wheatley in that scenario, that's what they would do.
Yeah. Steve wouldn't kill someone for that reason.
But Wheatley would totally beg for death.
Yeah.
Huh.
Steve Rogers stays awake all night. This is the night 3. Knobhead and Mark tell stories about themselves to each other. Love to see a conversation between Mark and Carl Pilkington. That would be amazing.
That would be incredible. I mean, that is sort of the most plausible scenario out of everything here so far.
Cersei dies from hypothermia. Wheatley, Luffy, Oko-san, and Jane Foster sleep in shifts. Birdman from Birdman tends to his wounds. John Oliver is awoken by nightmares. Robert Downey Jr. screams for help. Oh, this one's cute. Georgia and Heather huddle for warmth.
Aww. Aww, that's adorable. Totally.
The shipping begins now.
But you know what's funny is that's what would happen. We would die really early, and they would form an alliance.
Yeah, right.
That's absolutely what would happen if the 4 of us were in the Hunger Games.
Birdman from Birdman scares Jane Foster off. Robert Downey Jr. tricks John Oliver into killing Heather.
Okay, can we make that the title of this week's podcast?
I'll put that in the description. Hold on. I am going to put that in the description. I'm going to put that on a notepad real quick.
Yeah, please don't forget.
Mark diverts George's attention and runs away. Wheatley receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Don't know how you can drink water, but you know. Steve Rogers does something very unpatriotic and steals from Oko-san while he isn't looking.
Boo! Boo, Steve Rogers. Boo.
How unpatriotic of you.
That's super unpatriotic in America. Captain quote-unquote America.
Knobhead camouflages himself in the bushes. He camouflages himself as an orange and just hides. Luffy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Okay, I think wait, which one did come to next? There's one day where it's like, you know how in the movie or in the book, there's that fire thing where the fire just comes up out of the ground?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That happens. I don't know which day it happens, though.
I think relatively early on. My favorite thing in the first book were the Tracker Jackers.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty badass.
Talk about Hunger Games while this is loading.
Okay, so have I talked...
My internet's fucked up right now.
Have I talked yet on the podcast about having finished the 3rd book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't really know what else to say then. It was badass. Fucking awesome. I'll talk about Birdman though.
Okay, do it.
Birdman, okay, so much to talk about.
Well, it's loaded now, so you can talk about it in a minute.
Oh, okay, I guess I'm not as interesting as the Hunger Games. I guess me
Do you
talking
do you
about
want to
Birdman.
see who wins this?
Yeah,
Knobhead might win it. Carl might win this.
fuck man, if Carl wins,
Two cannon shots are heard in the distance. Cersei and Heather died that day.
So George is the only one out of our clan left then.
Yeah,
Ah,
out of our clan.
that sort of makes sense. That Georgia would be. I feel like Georgia. No, maybe Heather. Actually, I feel like it would definitely be Heather or Georgia. It wouldn't be one of us.
Oh no.
No, fuck no. Hell no.
Okay, there we go. Come on. Come on. Okay. Night 4! Okay. Steve Rogers sets up a camp for the night, while Oko-san stays awake all night. Mark hides near the cornucopia for resources. Georgia, John Oliver, Knobhead, Luffy, and Jane Foster crowd around their fire. Wheatley bashes Birdman from Birdman's head in with a mace.
He could just bash his head in with himself.
Yeah, really. And Robert Downey Jr. cries himself to sleep again.
Fuck, man.
Seriously, it said that again.
That's nuts. Although, yeah, I feel like if Robert Downey Jr. is in the Hunger Games, yeah, that's plausible.
He tried to, like, charm his way out of the Hunger Games, like, charm people away from killing him, but I don't think he would cry himself to sleep.
I don't know, I mean, anyone might if they were in the Hunger Games, but I feel like he in particular is quite fragile.
Did you see that video of, like, it's like a charity thing that, he's doing, or for some charity, I don't know, but, it's like you can, if you bid $10 or more on this charity, then you're entered into a competition to, like, he'll personally fly you out to LA to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And, like, he'll set you up in a hotel, and then you guys get to see the Avengers.
Yeah, I have seen that. I saw that on your wall. Are you going to enter?
Oh, no, because I don't have $10.
Oh, yeah, shit. I'll give them $10.
Oh, fuck. Hold on. What the hell is going on? Oh no! The website is down!
No!
No! Now we'll never know!
Who do you think would have won?
I don't know.
Oh, hell.
Georgia.
Oh,
The website is down, I guess, for repairs. I love when websites do that when I'm in the middle of doing something.
Yeah, that's sweet. Good job, website, because you were working
Thanks!
badly before.
We should have used the other Hunger Games simulator.
Well, we will next time. Fucking Hunger Games simulator. You suck.
Yeah, really.
You hashtag suck.
Hashtag suck.
I really would like to talk about Birdman now, if you please.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so much to talk about with Birdman. Beautifully directed. Yeah, beautifully acted. Really interesting idea. So the entire thing, it almost looks like it's done in one shot. But I don't think it is. I think it does cut a few times. It's set in and around a theatre where Michael Keaton's character, who played Birdman, a kind of Batman-like character in the 90s, has written an adaptation of a really famous short story, and he's now starring in it and directing it. And he's having to deal with a real kind of prima donna method actor, along with his daughter and a couple of his co-stars, his lawyer. And it's just, he's a really decent bloke. Like, I think that's one of the most interesting things about it. It would be really easy to make him just all ego, but he's actually a really nice guy, and he's just trying to do his best. He is self-important. He is egotistical, but he's got a good heart without it being saccharine or one-dimensional. Yeah, it looks incredible. Like, beyond all the kind of unflashy stuff, where they are just kind of going in and around the theatre, it's almost like the entire film is just sort of circling it. So you start at one place, and then the entire film just goes in a big loop. It's hard to explain until you see it. But also, there are some set pieces that are just mind-blowing. just stunning to look at. I think the interaction between him and himself as Birdman is fantastic. It's a really interesting character study for Michael Keaton. I loved the hell out of it, and I cared about every single person in it. It didn't feel like a kind of, oh, poor actors, they're so hard done by with all their money and fame. Like, it was much more complex than that. I really, really liked it.
Cool.
And I think
I haven't seen it yet, but I actually really do want to see it.
it's badass, and Michael Keaton should have won the Oscar, because Eddie Redmayne, to be fair, I haven't seen The Theory of Everything, but I can remember when it came out, and looking at the trailers, and just thinking, like, this looks so sentimental, it will just sink without a trace, and that's nothing. Like, Stephen Hawking's life story is fascinating, and he is fascinating.
Yeah, I like that it's a movie, though, that it was, like, before... Like, it's kind of like a reminder that he was a person before he was confined to a wheelchair. He was an actual person with actual, he wanted to be in a relationship. I feel like that's a good take on a movie about his life. I mean, of course, you're not going to have a movie that's going to cover everything in his life, but it's a good reminder that, he was a person before he was the Stephen Hawking that we know today.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I'd never looked at it from that perspective, but I think that's very profound.
Like, he was a person who was, he was a guy in college that could walk, and,
Yeah,
we kind of think of him when you think Stephen Hawking, you kind of think, of the way he is now and has been for a few years, unfortunately, but, yeah, I think some people kind of forget that, and I think a movie like that is kind of a good reminder that he was a normal guy, just like the rest of us.
You know what, Great? You've stumped me, because I'd never looked at it from that perspective before, and I think that is a really profound argument, actually. Again, I haven't seen the film, so it's probably really...
I want to see it. I do.
My only thing was, I thought it looked very, very sentimental. Like, and again, I'm not against the idea of doing a Stephen Hawking film at all, but it looked like a very, very sentimental, romanticized, two-dimensional take on his story. But I could be wrong. I haven't seen it. And I do think that is a really good point. I think, yeah, he was just a normal guy in college, like you say.
I want to let you know, Markiplier just tweeted, because he hasn't uploaded a video today yet, and he just tweeted, "Not dead, just slept in, it was awesome, video soon." And then he tweeted, "Who would watch a Twitch stream of me sleeping?" And I'm like, I think I would. Like, not to be a creepo or anything, but,
I mean, I think... Yeah, I think...
That in itself, watching someone sleep, is kind of creepy, but...
It is, but I think if he was giving you free reign to do that, as opposed...
Yeah, if it was consensual.
Yeah, instead of you creeping in through his window, I think that's fine. I think you've got to take these opportunities when they present themselves to you.
Dude, you said I haven't done that already. I mean... I totally haven't done that already.
Dart's eyes.
I don't know Markiplier's address and go there regularly. Are you kidding me? I really don't. I don't want people to think that I do or haven't, looked it up. I do not, even want to do that invasion of privacy. Some people will go and, look up people's address, people that are famous or pseudo-famous, and look up their address, and I'm like, huh.
You ever on the Google drop-down, right? Sometimes this happens. I'll type in the name of a celebrity in Google, and on the drop-down, it will be... So if I was to type in Johnny Depp, say, I would get, filling in the rest of the sentence, Johnny Depp address. And I...
Yeah. Oh, like a Google autocomplete?
Yeah. So enough people have looked at...
Address, yeah.
That's nuts, that enough people have looked up Johnny Depp's address. Like, what do you think the possibility is going to be of it actually being on there?
I'm gonna do, full confession. I've done that once, and it was years ago, and it wasn't even, anyone that I could even get to or anything, but I did that once out of pure curiosity.
You know what, I'm not gonna lie, I did it once about Johnny Depp, but when I was about 13. I I'm completely backtracking on that rant, but
Yeah, really.
I was 13.
Oh my god. We're
It
terrible.
was.
I wouldn't find Mark's address though. Like, he's too, like, I would feel really bad about it.
Who did you look up? Who did you look up?
I don't even remember. I know I've done it, but I don't even remember exactly who it was.
Yeah.
It was just like some A-list celebrity that
Yes.
I would have no way of even, getting near it because security,
When I looked up Johnny Depp's address, like, I think I was young enough that I still had that teenage thing of like, oh, maybe I could just casually bump into him. And I'm like,
He has like 5 different houses though.
yeah, god damn it. Like,
At least. Like, he has one in like the Caribbean, he has one in like France.
and like, how at 13 did I think I was going to casually bump into Johnny Depp and get him to... How did I think...
Johnny Depp doesn't walk around like in New York just casually,
Well,
he can't. He literally cannot because he would get stopped
yeah.
before he could even take a step.
I'm gonna go and get some dinner before we do Pathfinder. Should...
Dude, we're doing our Pathfinder tonight with Georgia, Georgia's fiance Joe, and Georgia, and a few other people, I think.
Gonna be...
Joe had the brilliant idea. I'm not being sarcastic about that. It is
Joe
pretty
had
cool.
the brilliant idea. It was a great it was a...
I'm not gonna lie, I started out sounding sarcastic, but then I'm like, why am I being sarcastic? It is a good idea.
It's a great idea. I'm excited.
It's a Disney Pathfinder, and it's based off of like we're each Disney characters and stuff, and he sent us like Pathfinder sheets, and it's gonna be really cool. Because I've never RP'd before, because I have not found anyone to teach me, because I've been scared that if I just walked in somewhere and was like, hey, let me play D&D, and then I just get treated like an idiot.
No, Joe was really great because I think like I was the same. Like I wanted to do it, but I guess I just hadn't found like the time or the impetus to find the people to do it and how to play.
Yeah.
But Joe, he sent us all character sheets, but he sent me one to the UK. I thought that was really sweet of him, and I'm so...
Yeah, like physical
Yeah, and I was
mail.
so impressed by how detailed they all were. Like, I mean, he had really put the work in. It was very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shoot off, but I will be back for Pathfinder. So I can't think of anything else I want to add. Can you agree?
I might record it and like put it up, but I don't know. Like I'll hit record, and then if it turns out to be good, I'll actually probably
Yeah, great
upload
idea.
it.
Great.
I'm sorry we couldn't finish Hunger Games, but the website went down. Yeah, the website did go down for maintenance, so that kind of sucks. We'll keep in what we did though, and we might do it. We'll do it again when the rest of us are around.
I thought what we did have was very entertaining.
Yeah. Especially Robert Downey Jr. crying himself to sleep
And
twice.
John Oliver making a wooden spear. Who would have thought it? Right, I will see you in about half an hour. Alright, bye-bye.
Alright. Well, you won't see everyone else in like half an
Oh,
hour.
when are they getting on?
No, I mean the audience.
Oh, that's true. I'll never
won't
see
see
them,
everyone else
because they're
again.
people that I don't know in real life. I'll see you soon.
Alright.
Bye,
Goodbye,
guys.
everyone. Bye.